As the project manager, one of your key responsibilities is tracking the progress of projects and being able to convey the status of that project to your colleagues and your clients. Enter the project status report. Some project managers cringe at the very thought of it. Even experienced PMs can struggle with determining what to include, what to leave out, and how to cobble the whole thing together without overwhelming their audience. In this video, we'll cover some project status report best practices and how to put together a report that will keep your team and your clients on the right track. Let's start by covering what exactly you're supposed to include in the project status report. First things first, make sure to record who the report is for and what the report entails. In other words, what project are we talking about and who needs to know about it? That might seem obvious, but you'd be surprised at how the most obvious things can slip through the cracks, only to reveal themselves the moment your boss decides to share the report with everyone in the company. Next, include the project vision. This should be a simple sentence or two about what the goals of this project are. Think of it as providing the 10,000-foot view that helps refresh everyone's memory or bring new team members into the loop. For example, with this project, we hope to increase downloads of Competitation, the world's first competitive meditation app, in the App Store by 200%.
Oh God.
Now, let's move on to project health. There are a few different ways you can spin this, but we like the stoplight method. Green for good, yellow for some issues, red for this thing is a hot mess. Always add a note that explains the project health status, even when it's green. For example, for green, something like we've obtained approval on drip email designs. No budget concerns at this time. A yellow status might sound something like the drip email designs need significant revisions. Therefore, the final delivery date has been delayed by 1 week. For a red status, you might add something like the drip email campaign has drastically shifted direction since starting. We need to set up a meeting to establish wants/wishes for the project. Another critical item to include is the project spend and timeline. By providing your client and team regular updates to how the project is performing against budget and timeline, you help your team maintain awareness and ensure the project doesn't go off the rails.
Spider-Man! Oh my God, this is it! Tell everyone to hang on! Brace yourself!
This is also a great way to see trends, not only for this project, but for overall company performance. You should also include what has been completed so far and what you plan to complete in the next time frame. Keep these updates short and simple, as they're not JIRA tickets. You don't necessarily have to explain the how, just the what. Next, add any issues or roadblocks that are preventing the project from moving forward. This is your opportunity to raise those red flags. Wave them high, wave them hard. For example, you might add something in the report that says, if we do not obtain client feedback by June 2nd, we will be in jeopardy of not being able to send the email to consumers the same day as the product will be available in stores. Finally, touch on milestones. Make sure everyone viewing this report knows clear as day what those major milestones look like, when they're happening, and who's responsible. That's it. Those are the essential items to include in your project status report. Now, there are always a few optional items you can add depending on the project and, frankly, the type of company you work for. For example, links to project timelines that anyone viewing the report can digitally click through on their own, instead of slacking you, again. Links to completed deliverables or published content are always nice. And speaking of nice, thank yous and accolades to team members never hurt.
I want to thank me.
And, at least over here, we always encourage the strategic use of GIFs to lighten the mood. Or do you say GIF? Is there anything more satisfying than finding that perfect GIF? GIF? All right, quickly, there are a few things you should definitely not include in your project status report. First, don't throw shade. Not at a team member, not at the client. Now isn't the time. It's unprofessional and gets in the way of the work being done. Next, don't blabber. Keep it short, concise, streamlined, to the point, and avoid redundancy, unlike this last sentence. Finally, and this is key, don't ask questions.
Question.
You'll be tempted to throw in questions when you're uncertain about a next step or who's responsible for a task. Try to find the answer before you submit the report. Remember, a goal of this report is for it to be where your team gets the answers, not where you ask the questions. How to create a project status report. All right, now that we know what you should and shouldn't include in your report, let's walk through some project status report best practices for actually putting this thing together. Step 1, gather your data. First things first, gather all the information you need to report on. This means collecting data from various sources such as project management software, project timeline, and financial information. Determine the RAG, or red, amber, green, status of your project, and identify whether it is healthy, stalled, or in crisis. Step 2, check in with your team. Check in with your team to get additional updates or details to add to your report. This way, you know that everyone's on the same page and you don't miss anything important. It's also a nice heads up to the team that you're putting together the status report, which serves as a little bump to check that lingering task off the list. Step 3, source a status report template. If you don't want to create a status report from scratch, and honestly, who does? There are plenty of templates out there to use. And for what it's worth, we offer a pretty awesome project status report template with our DPM membership. Just saying. Step 4, outline key segments. For your sanity, outline the key segments of your report. Make sure to include a report summary, key milestones, notes, and links. This will help you stay on track and not go off on a tangent.
Where am I?
Step 5, write an ugly first draft. Next, write that ugly first draft where you word vomit everything you know about the project within your set template. Get everything you've pulled together out there on the page. Don't worry about it being perfect. Step 6, edit your work. After you've taken a break, come back and edit your status report. Double check that your report includes all the necessary elements, such as the project name, project vision, project health, completed tasks, upcoming tasks and milestones, and issues or roadblocks. Cut the fat, correct your grammar, punctuation, and spelling, and add anything you forgot. If you have questions that need to be answered, now's the time to get those questions answered, so you're not delivering a report that has a bunch of Step 7, finishing touches. After you've done that final pass and the report is ready to go, add a little sugar to your report by highlighting the accomplishments of your team. And thank them for their hard work.
I want to thank me for doing all this hard work.
Step 8, send and confirm receipt. All right, the moment we've all been waiting for, the send.
I got that excited, scared feeling. Like 98% excited, 2% scared.
Wipe the sweat from your brow, take a deep breath, and double check that you've actually added that attachment. Nothing worse than sending a company-wide email only to realize that you forgot to actually attach the attachment.
Hope we didn't forget anything.
In your email, you should also include a request to confirm receipt of the report within 24 hours. A simple got it or thumbs up in Slack is totally fine. If you haven't gotten confirmation of receipt within a day or two, follow up directly with anyone who hasn't responded. Step 9, rinse, repeat, and revise. One last piece of advice I can give you is to think of this project status report as a living document of sorts. Whether you're sending this internally to colleagues or sharing with clients, ask for feedback. What's working? What's confusing? What would they like to see more of? It'll go a long way in making sure that the report is actually achieving the goals you're trying to achieve. That's it.
That's it.
Follow these best practices, and you'll be well on your way to delivering project status reports that are informative, but also ensure accountability across teams. Now, if you have a tried and true method for creating and delivering project status reports, let us know in the comments. And as a reminder, we offer a project status report template with our DPM membership. So if you're not a member, now might be the time to sign up. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. And visit thedigitalprojectmanager.com for more info and best practices for all things project manager related. And with that, go forth and report.